Good morning. Welcome to all our listeners right here on Skies Metro FM. Welcome to Women's Newsbeat. My name is Busi Bebe. We're back here with the latest and hottest news online, on social media, in the news, and I'm with three ladies here today. How are you? Samge unjani?
Right, Busi, wena unjani?
Ngiyaphila nkazana. Long time. Ubungaphi?
Hey wena bengikhaya lami ngizama ukuthi nje mphumule mbijana. At least last week ngivumela ukuthi efonini, but yeah, I miss you guys so much. I think it's so different when you're doing it over the phone. Like
it is.
That's how we are.
The vibe is different.
Very different.
Yes.
So I'm happy to be
You're looking
here.
good.
It's the
looking
yellow.
mellow.
It's the yellow.
Bakithi black mzimba wonke sigqoka wathi color bakithi uthi lathi sikhanya. Barbara la uyare yellow mellow unjani sis?
Ngiyaphila kunjani?
Ngiyaphila. Have you been? You've also been missing in action.
Ngiyevakatshela abanye sosibili.
Yebo phela ba right khona leso libhedla. Bayaphila usiphatheleni. Basibingelela. Siyabonga Manyathi, how are you? Don't see mic.
Right, ngikhathele.
Indaba sis.
Hayi isikole sezivulwa.
Yebo
so yakwazi being moms ukuthi sokunjalo.
I can imagine.
Christmas fever siphelile yana kade sigijimisa ngani.
Nanti phela.
So siyabingelela abalaleli namhla kuyi New Year's Eve.
Kakhulu. How was Christmas for you ladies? Did everything go as according to plan? It was just one of those.
Wena kusayara. That's quiet.
Bengikholisa hayi kade mnandi Christmas.
Yebo phela. Uyenzeni?
Asiphekanga, we went out. We did all things
Ani culture yokupheka siyaphela nje.
Siyakwanisa ukuziphekela endlini.
Ukupheka ama rice lama salad lama scones.
Ubuzogeza imiganu.
Utogeza imiganu wedwa. Yeah, I know. Akusabelanga kube njalo. Siyabonga kakhulu. I'm glad you guys had a great Christmas. Balaleli siyalamukela njalo kuhlelo lwethu lanamhlanje. We also want to take your comments. Kanti phechana lami lelaneli le phone number selithethwe mbala. Right, yes. Lisithumezele ama WhatsApp messages enu lama voice note ku 077 4460100 ngo 077 4460100. Siyamukela kakhulu imbono yenu on the issues that we will be discussing today. And namhlanje silamahola amabili, so sizazihlaziya kabanzi indaba zethu, and also would love to hear what you have to say. Mhlambe ngiqalise ngayo Samke ngoba le ndaba eziningi ezitshisayo.
You know, today when I was preparing to come, I was like, you know what, I'm always talking about politics. And because there's
what does a politician?
But all of us are, I think now depends on what when I extend yako level yako ongena kuyo politics. I'm very passionate about politics, you know. So my first topic, I don't know if you guys saw a tweet government spokesperson Nick Mangwana ekhuluma nge-voter registration ukuthi only 2,000 people were registered by ZEC this year in 2021.
Ilizwe
lonke. And the way the tweet came out, I was not happy. I feel like Unik was happy ukuthi only 2,000 people registered. And he was blaming social media influencers. He was blaming social media. The city, you guys, you are just doing for clout. You are not doing anything. Can you see the numbers? But for me, I was like, as a government spokesperson or anyone in general, if you say only 2,000 people registered, it speaks volumes about ZEC as an institution that is mandated to do the job, to make sure that people are registered. And also the entire government. What does this mean for us? What does it mean for e-citizenry? Like, our people apathetic? What's going on? You know, we can't be excited and start blaming, because I know we're going to blame the opposition party. And when you look at other players as well, like Professor Jonathan Moyo, different people, they were like blaming the opposition party. And for me, I was like, I feel like the blame is misdirected, because ZEC has to do its job. And besides that, for us to get people registered to vote, it needs each and every one of us, CSOs, you know, let us individuals, because Tinamele's vote, is registered to vote, you know, is our right, and each and every person who's above 18 has to exercise that democratic right. So for Nick and everyone else to blame one party over the other, or blame social media influencers over. I feel like we're missing the point. We need to start asking each other questions. Why did we register only 2,000? Then you have a group of people, group of organizations that will say you and I are also part of, that are into mobilizing young people to register to vote. And then they tell you, no, but we have these figures. Like I know a site, Zenzele did a tweet recently to say, I think it was yesterday, City, Bona, a site, since they started an incentive to encourage young people to vote, they registered 321 people within 3 weeks. So you have people, organizations such as Site, you have so many of them, Project Vote, ERC, Wild, like so many, you know.
So let's say each of those got 300 votes.
Within 3 weeks.
Yes, how many is ZEC accountable for their work?
Yeah, well, so you have all these organizations come and say, no, but Tina, we registered these people. I know Project Vote, I think when Lulama 10,000, according to them, they're claiming that number. So I'm like, okay, if these guys are saying this, then ZEC, they're saying they've only registered 2,000. What's the real figure? What's going on?
Where have the other numbers
Where
gone
the number?
to?
Where, you know? And Lama organizations that are saying what they've registered, can you guys bring evidence?
Your figures.
And then we tally these figures and then we push ZEC to, because there's some inconsistency that's going on and we need to verify, we need to check, because already I always feel like is ZEC, people don't trust ZEC. So now so people are already saying, so Lifuna is registered for what? Lifuna is voted for what? Because ZEC is not even coming out to say, guys, those who said they mobilized, we are nearly slightly pants and we fix this. Because guys, I'm thinking, okay, 2022, what will happen?
Yeah.
With all this mess?
I don't know, Barbara, do you have a response?
First of all, ngifuna ukomenta kundaba yokuthi people are blaming the opposition. How can they blame the opposition? The opposition, for it to be opposition, it needs votes. So there's no way it's discouraging people. So it's just playing mind games ngabantu.
Oh no.
And
Zesa just had to do it.
And then reality hits us.
it doesn't make sense at all. And also, you play mind games with abantu ukuthi we should be complacent and content with who is leading right or ruling right now. So there's no need to vote ngoba vele bakhona angikwazi ukuthi kusani. But it feels like bafuna uku discourage abantu in a way yokuthi vele there's no need to vote ngoba the ones who are supposed to lead are already in power. So you're okay as you are.
What's your take?
I didn't see the tweet, unfortunately, especially when I Nick Mangwana. But generally, I'm sensing apathy. The apathy when it comes to voters' registration and the people's willingness to actually register to vote. And I feel it's more like, it's not even about the youth, but any individual that is eligible to vote. I feel like abantu sebe lento leyo ukuthi for what reason? Kanti vele kuyajintshana. So as a result, abantu abaningi are not going to register to vote because ungani outcome vele sebeyazi and they are feeling ukuthi kanti vele si registerlani, vele si votelani, si vele sikwazi ukuthi kuya kwenzakalani. So I think the organizations that are involved with this trying to caucus people to go and register to vote have to find new strategies. Kuzamele kube lenye indlela because apathy is there. Nganabantu badiniwe. People are really tired.
I agree with Smo in terms of apathy because I'm registered to vote, but honestly, ngicabanga the election ngizondokudonda because of what's happened in the past. Currently, I'm trying to think who is it that I can go for, but then I think people are disempowered in terms of what they need to go and vote. So you need an ID, you need to be Zimbabwean, you need to have a residential address. And I'm looking at all these women, a lot of women that don't have documents, that don't have IDs, that don't have residential addresses. Abanye bayaloja, sebathuta from the last election. Kuyadinisa bakithi uhambo uloku siyalayinela ukuregister ukwazi maybe in a few months time uzaxoshwa lapho loja khona or landlord kafuni ukunika ibhili lamanzi to prove ukuthi khona uhlala endaweni yakhe. So some of these things really they are limiting, and I think it's about time our government really looked at the necessities or the needs that one must have to go and register to vote, especially in the IDs. There are tens of thousands of people who are elderly, who are above 18 that do not have IDs. And there are many new voters or abantu expected to register to vote who are now 18 who do not even have a birth certificate. And there are many people in the rural areas who cannot even get to the nearest registration point. So if those things are not dealt with, government official, social lights or whoever is not encouraging people to register, but akusoze kuncede ukuthi ngibe encouraged to go and register ngingela ID, ngingela residential address, ngingela proof of residence, ngingela ndawo yokuthi yofinyelela lapho kuregisterwa khona. So can our authorities fix those things and then they can shift that blame? Because you cannot blame someone when ungakafaki your house in order to make sure that your citizens access their right to register and vote.
Okay, can I say something in terms of registering to vote? I want us to be very clear. Like when we're doing the voter registration efforts, it's not for us to say, okay, we want to remove a certain power. I think this is why people get conflicted, because we've made voter registration efforts to be about change and who to vote for, which is not really what efforts are all about. Like Bulawayo, especially Matebeleland, if we're not careful, if we don't register to vote, there's an issue of it delimitation. That's why people keep missing out. And then there's a few representatives to parliament. There's when we don't have funds as kwanayo because we decided not to participate through registering to vote. The reason why we're registering to vote, we want to make sure ukuthi sense delimitation. Constituencies sonke siyakwana sathola ama-funds sathola ama-resources that are due to us. So think about that first. Okunye lokho lizabona, but please don't make a voter registration campaign to be about ZANU-PF versus MDC. It's about you as a citizen exercising your right and making sure that your voice is heard and making sure that you are counted among those people that are in a constituency. Ngoba nxa ungaregister to vote and you're above 18, resources, do they count you? So we really need to understand in the delimitation and all these things. That's what I want to say. Please avoid to make it about MDC or ZANU-PF. Please choose whatever the date in 2023. But when it's about registering to vote, think about these things. That's my wish and that's my prayer. When it comes to this.
Samige, that's very important. I mean,
I wanted to say something. So now what's then important is voters' education. Ukuthi nxa selikhuluma ngama delimitation likhuluma ngani kuchoni, and what does it mean to an ordinary citizen? So nxa abantu bengakwazi the consequences or the meaning of it or how that affects them, bazabe becabanga ngalawa nama issues, bread and butter issues. That's what's going to come first. So maybe it drive voters' education is then very, very, very crucial. Ukuthi abantu bakucabange ngezinye indlela bangakhangeli khonokho ukuthi asesidinwe ngalokho.
And this is where Pelazek comes in. This is their job to educate us. They should be educating us throughout. They should be doing workshops, training people, sending out flyers, fact sheets to say this is how you can register, this is what you should do, this is what you should know. If you don't register, then you'll have less representatives in parliament, and what that means for you as an individual. And of course, yes, registering and voting is a right, but it's also a responsibility. If you do not vote, ungacomplain kusasa nxa into sesenzakala ungabuzwanga kumbe kufa kwabantu ongabathandiyo, because you didn't act on the responsibility to exercise that right to vote. Anyway, siqhubekele phambili. Singo, do you have a story for us?
Hayi ubhabhro bengani kule nto afuna ukukhuluma ngayo.
No, ipoint yami kade ngimfuna ukukhuluma about educating abantu ukuthi ukuregister to vote is not voting. So kumele kube le clear difference and abantu babekwazi ukuthi nxa besiyaregister translate into what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of not registering. But I think konke sekukhulunyiwe. We can go hand over to Small.
Uyakwazi isilokhu esikhuluma ngama voters registration khona bengilokho nginyenyeza ubuso ukuthi sithe siqalisa besithi sizathi langalezo kubulawayo bakithi uyazi this past week has been horrible with the loss of Ugomede for Amaboso fans for Bulawayo, with the loss of city engineer Usmela Dube. Was it last week where we were mourning Mrs. B as well? It's just been a horrible week, and sifuna ukuthi ilanga lezo kumulya kobulawayo to the affected families, kumakhelwane labangani. Yazi uyabonga kwazi ukuthi uzathi kufika New Year's Eve ungasekho, and you know you'll be thinking you're crossing over ulama plan ka 2022, but then you discover ukuthi
yeah, that's true. It's very, very sad because these are, I mean, in a way, there are people who were holding the city in one way or the other. Usmela, senior engineer, I mean, in Dabeni Yamanzi, vele besithembe yena. And I was just thinking, ukuthi bakithi sikhala ngamanzi, and now it's the rainy season, lama water cuts lawa khona. You know, who is the brains, who's going to be the brains holding all that together? And sikhala le muli yakhe. Imuli yakhe bekwazi ukuthi sikhala singubulawayo. The same way sikhala ngogumede bakithi, that was a moving history book for Iboso and its history and all that it's been through, you know, and it was just also a public figure. Mina, I also know him also having worked in broadcasting, because he was one of those people that we looked up to and listened to Sakhelene Nini ngesikhathi semthwakazi FM, the old radio station before the country got its independence. Yeah, it's really a huge loss, and I'm just wondering, because ngizwe kuthiwa ubaba uGumede ufele esibhedlela empilo, if I'm not mistaken, la engineer ubesesibhedlela, and I'm just asking myself ukuthi hospitals now, you know, somewhere where umuntu nxa ehamba uhlalele evalweni ukuthi uzaphuma ephila yini, because these are like abantu ukuthi nxa bengena esibhedlela, it's you would expect them to get the best treatment or be able to get the best treatment in terms of them affording it. And the people abanika i-healthcare system, they run around with, you know, long engineer mbembani to try and save life. So nxa kwehlule bona thina onjwathi uzahamba njani nxa sesifike esibhedlela? Are we going to survive whatever we come across health-wise in our country? I actually think
you're bringing a very interesting issue. I was chatting to my friends. I've got 3 friends who lost their mothers during the course of 2021, and they were admitted to Arundel. SSC, the one that the COVID center on the side of UPH.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, i-Arundel okwaku-admithwe khona uMatema, uKane Matema, but then he was moved to Harare.
Okay.
Yeah, it must be. I think yiyo i-Arundel. So into efun ukuthi somebody said to my friend, if you can manage ungahambisi umama wakho esibhedlela, you know, treat your mom while COVID yena kuyikuthi ama-underlying issues I think she was hypertensive, but wayengela any other threat to her health or anything yesabekayo. And I'm saying, if somebody is going to say ungahambisi umama wakho esibhedlela ngoba engangena kaphumi, but I think bathi sebezama ukumonitor ama-oxygen levels akhe, they had gone down, so they panicked and ended up taking her to hospital, and hardly a week, she didn't make it, and she wasn't the only one. So healthcare system here to really is concerning. It's concerning, not particularly for these 2 because they are well known lokuthi babhubhele besesibhedlela, maybe isikhathi sabo besesifikile lokho asikwazi, but khona lokho ukuthi for people to actually verbalize ukuthi umuntu angangena esibhedlela kaphumi. What does that mean? It means ukuthi amanesa avele aselakheka, akula medication abayinikayo, akula mithi esibhedlela, akulani. What exactly is that meaning? Ngoba kuthi ukuthi sokumele size lapha ezindlini, it's kuyethusa. And like I'm saying, it's concerning for all of us. So what exactly is happening to our healthcare system? If we have any, do we still have any? Kumbe everything has been privatized? Because I think ukuthi uzuthole the care sokumele ungene into private hospitals that a majority of Zimbabweans cannot afford.
And talking about private hospitals, Lao, they are deteriorating now because everyone is shifting to that. But also the doctors that were there, they have moved to other countries because apparently, because of COVID, Western countries lost a lot of their health personnel and they were calling to countries like Zimbabwe, which we only saw 7 Zanga. So we haven't been noticing, but a lot of our health professionals have left the country and they've gone to the UK, Canada, Australia,
I saw
America.
something about brain drain.
Exactly.
Did you see it?
So we lose through death people like Dr. Falala. You know, it's just devastating. And you know, let's pray. I actually think there's a dark cloud over our city because we're losing a lot of people that we need technical hand, the brains, and it's really, really scary. I hope 2022 is going to be a better year for us.
No, I ngokuthi we're losing the pillars of Bulawayo. So it brings us to the questions of issues like, so abantu babe besifa because of the failure of the health system, of the systems that we have as a country, or sibili ukuthi umuntu isikhathi sakhe siyabe sesifikile.
Hey, kunzima small because akula muntu vele office isikhathi sakhe singakafiki, but we're asking ukuthi is it avoidable? You know, kulokunye like ukuthi umuntu uyagula yi-flu kumbe yabula isisu, things that you can get medication for, but because isikhathi kumbe you didn't get attention, ugcina ususithi isikhathi sakhe sesifikile. But in all honesty,
I was about to say that. There's lots of people who die. Isikhathi zabo
zingakafiki. Yeah, umuntu afebeletha, you know, things that can be avoided. I mean, we really have to sit down and have a serious conversation about our healthcare system. Mina njengami, to be honest, umuntu ohamba esibhedlela ngiyamesabela sibili. And mina izihlobo zami isibhedlela is the last resort. Libona njani balaleli? Would you take your relative to a local hospital and feel comfortable leaving them there, knowing ukuthi uzafitwa, uzageziswa, uzaphiwa imithi yakhe, uzakhudumala? I mean, all those worries that you have nxa usendlini ngomuntu wakho ogulayo, would you be comfortable ukuba chiye esibhedlela uhambe endlini uzitshela ukuthi nxa ufika kusasa uzamthola esengcono? 0777460100. What are your thoughts, Samge?
Oh, okay. I wanted to share something about my dad. Udada passed away in 2012, and I don't know what bayacabanga njani. Like, I think bamhlaba for we check meningitis twice, and they made a mistake because the doctor, which our family doctor, was not around. So what is someone this person was gone. There was no need for them to put him through so much when they so would so imagine twice check meningitis when someone, so you don't want to blame, you know, about because that but guy, that statement what happens, mina if someone tells me to esibhedlela, I freak out, you know, because ubaba utata wafela esibhedlela AUPH, the private ward, you know. So ngiyabe sengisethuka vele like vele umuntu athi invite esibhedlela bengafuni, because I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to be the one to say bye ngoba usesibhedlela. Sonke siyesaba, and we know ukuthi our health system in Zimbabwe has really gone down the drain. You know, sometimes we can blame amanesithi abaselathando, but vele look at the environment, look at vele isibhedlela zakho, everything is in tatters, akula amaphilisi akulani. So I mean, I think there's so many things at play. But I mean, I also don't know ukuthi kufa umuntu mayesetshona, is it because sokulilanga lakhe or because ungasakwazi? Mina bakithi ngam busy ngefast and praying Jesus can raise you can raise anyone from the dead, but hey bakithi, you never know, yazi. But I also want to pass my condolences to Bulawayo, you know, bembukela ama videos on Twitter akababu Gomete, you know, I was like, oh my goodness, this man was so bubbly, and I saw a tweet got raised on the city, you know what, as much as people talk about his contribution towards the football, towards Highlanders, he was also a person who did well in the arts, you know, sector, you know. So for someone not saying yes, I saw raised on raising, I think it was raised on by raising that. So can you imagine? So we've lost a general Bulawayo, And also ubabu smela, you know, I know Tina Loma when we're always complaining about amanzi gobulawa, you know. So whenever because Tina manzi atamba every week. So I think sabalawa twice or something and be like, hello, kabathini amanzi, you know, someone that will call. So I really pass my condolences to the Smeller family. To, you know, it's painful, and I wonder, as Bulawayans, are we raising another generation of incredible people? Because every time when a general passes away, like last week it was Zuma Musis B, you start to ask yourself, who are the people that they were mentoring that are going to
replace them?
You know, not just replace them, but take Bulawayo forward. You know, that is always my question, because we want to see another generation really carry Bulawayo and wanting the best for Bulawayo. That's what I want to know.
But that's what Usis B, I can attest to it. She was training her children.
Yes.
I mean, they're already in the business. She wasn't like your I don't want to say autocratic, but like your central figure in the business. Fine, the name was the brand. Her name was the brand, but she had already started to decentralize and involve abantu abakhe, which is good. I think a lot of businesses need to train either abantu ababo or whoever else is interested in that kind of business. Uthi business ingafi lo muntu. You know, it's sad ukubona a brand that you like ungafi umnikazi wangikhona. Sisale singasayiboni, you know, you start wondering whatever happened. And Usis B being a female business person, I just pray with a lot of other women business people learned from her and will be growing their businesses through what they saw her doing.
Pass my condolences to everyone. We've lost a lot of amazing people, and lokuthi sigqiba umnyaka with more losses kubuhlungu kakhulu. And then ngifuna ukukhomenta on indaba yesibhedlela. There is so much trauma which is not being taken care of. Ukuthi we are now living in fear of being admitted esibhedlela. And mina personally I'm living testimony of going into hospital so many times and coming out. I've had 14 operations, obviously enzelwe esibhedlela. I'm going a theater bese ang operator, and I've come out right now. We are sitting here. So umbuzo wami ukuthi, is it because we don't have the knowledge yokuthi we can get help to heal from this trauma esilayo, or there are no people who are offering ama services akhona? Ngoba this is a cry for help. And in as much as people are dying, I do know abanye who have gone into hospital and come out lonyaga, you know. But because of so much death and ama records of abantu who go bengaphumi, sekule this fear ukuthi vele abantu abahambe esibhedlela. And I'm not sure, I don't want to take anyone's side, but I'm sure the medical personnel, they are doing their best. But we have this trauma, we need to heal as a city or as a country. I don't know if the rest of the country shares my sentiments, but we need healing.
Yeah, that's
true.
Message everyone wants to go to heaven. But no one wants to
But that's true.
But no one wants
to die.
Very true. Akulo umuntu ofuna ukufa bakithi. Omunye uthi yebo isibhedlela yiso kumele sisize. But these days no care, no medication as well as uthando alusekho. Yes, it's true. There is too much trauma. Yeah, uthando kalusekho, unfortunately, because umsebenzi wokunakekela abantu abagulayo. Uyazi ukubamba umuntu ongamaziyo ongela buhlobo laye and trying to care for them. It takes a level of love that not everyone has. But unfortunately for a lot of us, being in care and being in the health profession is now just a job and not something we do out of conviction and out of passion. So hey, Small, you want to say something?
Yazi angikwazi kumbe libonile indaba kaBudi kumbe ngithi ubaba lo oziphosileyo ku 6th floor eHarare kade sebenzele eNRZ I mean, I just thought I would bring that up since we've been talking about people passing away before New Year's. Abanye kuthiwa uthole umadam wakhe lo boss. You guys saw the story. So the issues I wanted to raise from that is because in the past, well, I've worked with men, and we've been talking about why men are not able to handle disappointments, or when they are cheated on, or izinto ezinjalo, and ukuthi does it really have to lead to suicide? Yombuzo wami.
It doesn't. I think we also spoke something similar last week about the lady whose husband took money, stock fell,
And she killed
and she
herself.
killed herself. There is no reason why a life should end over a relationship or is kwelete. I think we shouldn't reach that level, but because in mental health yethu lama emotions ethu as pushed to the limits by Zimbabweans, we go through so much, not just in relationships, but you know, in our finances, emsebenzini, you know, we go through a lot of emotional trauma. Ugcina ususithi, what's the point? You know, I mean, I would understand why people resort to that, but I don't think
do
it's
understand.
the only. Yeah, I think they go through so much more. If no one wants to talk to you, if you have no one to turn to talk to when you're in trouble, you'd end up thinking, ususekugcineni komhlaba. And yet it's not. It's easy for us now to sit here and say there's no way, you know, you can go that route when there's so much to live for. But when you hit that dead end, I mean, I think I understand. So, Barbara, when I are a psychologist, maybe you'd understand better.
No, I totally understand. Suicide is just the end result of a long line of izinto ezenzakalayo. There is an avalanche of bad things happening over and over, and abantu bayabengela, or maybe umuntu uyabengela anyone to help them. And then when it comes to men, mina, I feel ukuthi we talk of things like toxic masculinity. It starts from toxic upbringing. Ngoba umuntu, usually the girl child is raised mostly to be a wife. You know, you are prepared to be a wife. Hey, kumele uyenze lokhu wenze, you know, you are prepared. But the boy child is told to be tough, kakhali kayenzi.
Dinga imali.
Yes. And then suddenly is married. So kumele abekwazi what to do with someone who's been trained all her life. Kule discrepancy lapho. So there's an imbalance because they are not raised most of the time to know what it's okay to talk about things. To know what you don't just shoulder everything on your own because that's what being manly is. At the end of the day, there are some things that will break them. It's not ukuthi ukuphonguqasela khonapho. Ngumuntu okade very fragile emotionally ukuyand. So this is just the straw that kills
that breaks the camel's back.
That breaks the back. But
yeah.
It's not ukuthi, it's just something that comes out of nowhere.
So what do we do, Barbara, in such situations? Because we are ukuthi this man is going through so much silently. Because like you're saying, men are told ukuthi inyembezi zendoda zifele esifubeni. And men are not told ukuthi, for example, abafazi khathesi we've been told ukuthi nxa ekuchaya suka.
Exactly.
Hambe uyomreport emapoliseni. But men are never told ukuthi umfazi nxa ekuchaya hambe report amshiye. Yes, they're actually complaining 15 days. Let's say achaywe ezindlini. Let's say, but you never hear them, you know, encouraging us to report or to report about police. So how do you deal with such?
I think we need to be compassionate and understanding towards the males in our lives. Ngoba as women we come see the mentality ukuthi men are supposed to be whatever they are supposed to be. We forget ukuthi there are people who also go through emotional stuff, who suffer trauma, who suffer mental illnesses, and they need to be understood. And then the other day I posted on my WhatsApp status ukuthi there's also this thing ukuthi when your girlfriend is crazy or a screamer or whatever, it's a crazy woman. No, that's being abusive. So we need to tell women ukuthi you are also abusive. How do you think he feels?
Samge, you wanted to say something.
Oh yes, thank you, Busi. Firstly, I want to give a shout out to organizations like Betterment Foundation, but was it Padar and Men, the Women's Conference, and many more that are really into helping men. Do you know, someone said Uguti patriarchy is harmful to both men and women, and I think as a society we need to agree with that. Uguti patriarchy has made men to portray this I'm tough. But when you look at our statistics, they show what men commit
More
suicide.
suicide,
Threaten
exactly,
as
than
women to
yeah.
commit suicide, but we never get through with it. But men, like our suicide rates among men
They're
are very
very
high.
high.
So Tina, that as a society, we really need to start allowing men to be human beings,
Even
because
the boys.
the
that
boys,
we
yeah,
listen.
boys and men, we need to allow them to be human beings because they're human beings first. They need to cry. In Bible, Jesus wept. So why are you making these men not cry? So we really need to give them that space for them to say it's okay to cry. Because imagine you're uzothiwa umfazi wakho umficelo, the pride that we have given men to say so it means that you as a man, you're not good enough, or you're not man enough, you failed. It makes men do such things. So we need to let men know what umfazi lo nxa so it has nothing to do with your manhood or you as a
It's
person.
all on
It's
her.
all on that person. So
Exactly.
you live. But we really need to do more for men to really understand that you're allowed to cry, you're allowed to speak. Because I will even on social media where men will be like, Sims, stop crying, be tough. Bona bodwa, they are putting each other like through hell, under
bona
pressure.
bodwa.
Bona bodwa, because
Say
they want
that
to
again.
hold this system that is against them as well. And they think it's okay. It's not okay. Boys cry, men cry, where they will not laugh at you. And if your woman is abusing you, you have a right to speak up and leave, because now you're a human being. You deserve love, you deserve to be affirmed, you deserve to be respected. We don't want to keep losing our boys and men because society has told them they don't matter. Your feelings matter. Your feelings are valid. Betterment, please, I urge you, can you guys keep doing these works? It's not just about girls. Yes, Mina, I work for a women's organization, but I also want to see men being heard and being listened to, because if I want to be listened to, I want someone else to be listened to. So
I
please,
think the point is, as women, whoever's listening and wondering how this is Women's Newspeak, but Sesi busy ngabo baba. I think the point is we cannot have women being taken care of by men who are bruised.
Amen.
Because it is because of abused men that we have abused women. It's 5 minutes to 12. We'll continue after the hour, but I wanted to read this message. Ethi ngiyalibonga kakhulu bantwana elikukhulumayo imfundiso eqinileyo ngu-Eduwe ukhulu enkosi. Siyabonga kakhulu bakithi, siyabonga ukuthi usilalele. And then omunye uthi, ladies linjani, ngiyalithokozela uhlelo maqondana lezibhedlela, kunzima okwenzekayo. Okokuqala akusela abenza umsebenzi ngobizo, sekuyikudinga imali. 2 akula mithi. 3 odokotela sebekuma private abo. Okokugcina kungani abaphezulu bengelatshwa ezibhedlela zethu, yikho okukhomba ukuthi asila lutho ngu-BK. Hey, sesicabanga lokuthi our leaders want to build their own private special luxury hospital, thina sithwele nzima bakithi. Good day, liqiniso elikutshoyo sibili, our public health institutions have been turned into death camps, but then for someone from a point of privilege, one can't be blamed for preferring to get help from a private health institution over a public health institution because they can afford and they have the choice. But for someone who is not so privileged, there really isn't any choice but to seek medical help from a public health institution. Ngoba lakho to see someone suffering umkhangele nkhaya akukho lula. Moreover, with the ever-widening gap between the rich and the poor, kunzima not to approach a public health institution when you really don't have another choice. That is very, very true. Hi, Bosisi. I will comment from a health personnel perspective. Bulawayo, let's tell our friends to come to hospital in good time. Don't listen to people who tell you theories about what happens in hospitals. We are here because we love you and we value keeping you alive. Most people we lose come here very late, and the chance of their survival is limited. Have regular checkups, value your health. This is very true, but how many of us can afford regular checkups, Bantu? omunye uthi have lost someone close because of negligence, wahamba esibhedlela ezihambela bafika bayenza iphutha, bathe sebenanzelela that bamhambisa kwesinye esibhedlela and wafika wafela khona. I no longer trust isibhedlela. Eish bayithi, this is very painful. Sure silahlekelwe singubulawayo kodwa ubuhlungu ezibhedlela zethu sezisethusa manje, siyakuya ngaphi. I hope the point is hitting home. There is really need for us to have a conversation about our healthcare system. Ukunda isengenile studio sefuna ukuzobala indaba, but we just have 2 minutes ngoba ufuna ukukhuluma something. If you can just come and then we
kude ngifuna ukukhuluma ngakho singamvumela. No, it was just ukungezelela.
Yeah, ngezelela.
Ukuthi into ekhulunywa ngusam. Usam ke ekhuluma ngokuthi inkinga le njoba kade sikhuluma ngestory sika baba lo Hararo waziphosai ukuthi it's a system that we are fighting, it's a culture that we are fighting. Into esavela sayithola khona ukuthi umntwana ongumfana ukhuliswa ngokuthi angakhuluma izinto ezenzakala emzini wakhe, angabi lo muntu axoxa laye, inyembezi zendoda zifela ziwele esifubeni. So if that is not corrected, we are still going to have a cycle of obaba bazibulalayo. And there is also, like what she was saying, this toxic masculinity. Lathi futhi omama is saying as well in Women's Newsbeat, sile problem, because the value that we give to men is based on their net worth. Khona lokho ukuthi kuthiwa indoda yikwini inkomo zayo. Yeah, so because of that nxa esele mali usesiba
uvela kubo mama ngivela kubo baba.
Uvela kubo baba.
Uvela kubo baba
Patrick,
because obaba nxa ungathi khona indoda le imbi kathi hayi
yeah, but what I'm saying is it's a system. So indoda sibone ngani yena okumele abe lakho imali, angaba le mali secina khonapho.
Alright, ngosiqhubekela phambili. Siyabonga kakhulu. Sicela ukunika oppressor as much as men also push each other towards a system ever affectayo. So kwenziwa njani ukuthi sikutshintshe khona lokho?
You were having these conversations and mina I think umlando okuba osebantwini kakhulu esiqalisa khona where we normally neglect is the mothers. Sithanda ukuthi sithi obaba banje we forget ukuthi labo balomama ubaba nalo ulomuntu wesifazana omkhulisileyo. So singaqalisa khonapho ngiyakwazi ukuthi we like to blame obaba ukuthi hey indoda le imbi, hey indoda le njani, but ukhuliswe ngomunye umama and uzananzelela ukuthi umama nalo nguyomtshela ezinye izinto ukuthi umfaka ukuthi ungakudelela.
Kanti ubaba khe abengaphi?
No, obaba, look, let's admit ukuthi kulike kwaba le generation yabo baba angade bevele bekomadlodla. Angazabuye chayisa emsebenzini ngo5 uchayisa emsebenzini ayi komadlodla. Abantwana bebengakula relationship
and we condone that because
it's not okay, but labo bakuthola kunjalo. But I'm saying now that we are having this conversation and we're saying izinto ezazenziwa ngobaba bethu azirayithanga, ezazisenziwa ngobaba babo azirayithanga, because it becomes a vicious cycle and into evele isikhona isi-accepted. As a result indlela umfana okhuliswa ngayo ibambi igcina sebona nxa sekulezinto esezimkhamile ezibulayo.
Alright, ngiyakuzwa sinqosa qhubekela phambili okwakhathesi singeneni ezindabeni. My ladies, we are back on our second hour. It's now 10 minutes past 12. Service corner kuze kuchaye 1 o'clock. Kule message lapha engenileyo kuthiwa morning girls, you are talking painful things. My 5-year-old nearly died at a local clinic 3 weeks back due to lazy attendance by nurses. Guys, really it's hard to take your loved ones to the health center. Rather treat your ill person at home. It pains after paying nurses have lost love for their work. Ngise Country Park very well. I'm sure bakhona abasawuthanda umsebenzi, but then bakhona abanye abangancengiyo abathi khona thatha isihlobo sakho uhambe laso nxa ufuna ukuzigcinela kumbe nxa ungathandi sikwenza. And it's so painful to watch. I remember ngibona omunye isihlobo sakhe singanathiswa ngamaphilisi, isihlobo zaze zabuya sibuza unathi lamaphilisi, wathi anganathi amaphilisi nxa bebuza amanesi kwakhanya lawa kabakwazi. And you just wonder ukuthi so what's the point? Amaphilisi angikhona futhi athengwa outside the hospital. So not only are you buying your own medication to bring into the hospital, you also have to be the one checking ukuthi usenathile yini, you know, utholile lokhu sedlile, it's just something else. 0774460 100 0774460 siyathatha ke imbiko yenu khona lapho balaleli. Besakhuluma ke ngendaba yepatriarchy, sizwela obaba but ngisabuza lami ukuthi yes siyabazwela obaba but nxa sebelabantwana, do they take the time to father those young men to grow up labo ngabobaba aba wholesome abapheleleyo? Because akusizi ukuthi ungumama uondle abafana uwedwa and you expect to produce a rounded man when they haven't gotten a father figure around them to teach them how to be men enough ukuthi babone ukuthi baphile njani labo babe ngama responsible members of society. Angazi likubona njani?
Bengifuna ukuphendula khonapho kuthi ukuthi I think maybe sometimes it's good that we look at the reality on the ground. The reality on the ground ukuthi obaba bayafa, and bafa because of different reasons. Bayafa okay njengayena lo esikhuluma ngayo ukuthi uzibulele ngama-suicides. Bayafa because of health issues. Bayafa because they've got risky jobs. And ikakhulu and kukaningi umuntu ongumama, like if you see our mothers abaningi bachiwa ngabobaba sebengama-widows. That's why utshona ubona kukhulunywa ngama-widows kakhulu more than ama-widowers. And anyway, i-widower umuntu oyindoda engafelwa a year later or sometimes even before a year uyabevele selomunye umfazi. While just I'll give you a case of my mom. My mother lost my father at 36 and she stayed more than almost 40 years A1. Raise abantu bakhe. She made a deliberate decision ukuthi I'm going to look after my children, bazafunda bangene konke esikolo, and I'm not going to remarry. Yabo, so obaba bayafa. Why am I saying that? I'm responding to you ukuthi kanti why obaba kuyikuthi kabakhulisi other men like young boys to be better men, ukuthi vele kabakho. And then besides ukufa, the reality also on the ground ukuthi because we are women siyazala yithi sizithwalayo. So uzathola ukuthi at one point I have some people that I know very close to me, I'm not going to mention names. At one point umuntu ongubaba uyamithisa multiple women. So already he's not going to marry, let's say at a particular time umithisa by 4 or 5. It's a reality, or within a space of 5 years. So now what then happens, the reality we have is there is a lot of single mothered homes. That's why I came back ukuthi bengifuna ukukhuluma ngomama kakhulu, omama who are raising males, ukuthi nxa umuntu owesifazane ulomntwana ongumfana, ulo mzukulu ongumfana, whether it's a niece, it's a nephew that you are raising, or it's your own child, okungela male figure. Omalume kabakho basegoli, omalume kabakho they are overseas, omalume kabakho abanye because they are tending to their own families and sometimes they don't have time. So in that instance or scenario where we're having females raising and there's no possibility of a male, of which of course I feel males should take part if they can, especially with society, maybe women clubs, like these figures that we've been talking about. Nxabele way ukuthi ba mentor young men, it would be lovely. So how then, what are the things that these female parents are doing and saying in raising these boys that make them be the people that they are today, especially when it comes to the inner person of who they are, bona ngaphakathi? And then how do we then address society with, okay, even if this woman as a single mother has done well in raising this young man, what about society efika imtshela ukuthi ukuba yindoda ukuthi abele mali? Then they tend to then ignore every other aspect of their humanness. Ukuthi the inner man, him being him, his confidence shouldn't be on money, because that's why you find ukuthi nxa kade le company ingavuka icompany liyani bankrupt, kumbe kwenzakale something, kumbe kuthiwa utshelwe ngama-ofisi watch izimota whatever, the next thing uyezwa kuthiwa uzibulele. So how do we raise as mothers young men to be confident in who they are outside of the money issue, outside of their net worth? Ukuthi babone ukuthi even their worth is more than just what they own. This is the thing that is going to make them confident ukuthi even abuse ngumfazi, even influence ngabanye, the fellow amanye amadoda kumbe abanye obaba in a negative manner, he can stand by himself as ukuthi Mina, this is who I am. This is what I believe in. This is what I stand for. And I'm not defined by what I have. And I'm not defined by assets or izinto engilazo. Yabo. And I'm not defined by the woman that I marry. Because singakhangela ina laws jigile. Yes, he was heartbroken. He was disappointed to find unkosikazi wakhe elo boss. And then probably what then happened in his inside man ukuthi uqalisa ukuzibuza ukuthi so what's wrong with me? Is it because I don't have money? Is it because I'm not man enough? Is it because angimlali kuhle? Whatever the case may be, that could have made him then think ukuthi I'm not man enough. Yikho why would then she go and cheat on me? Engakwazi ukuthi enxelayo unkazana lo ubedinga promotion, enxelayo befakwe ekhoneni. So how are we raising the young men?
Ngiyakuzwa konke khona lokho sinqo, and yes, those are the realities on the ground. But for me, I still go back to those fathers that are present. And aloyi one omithiso mama bayi4 ucabangani ekhanda lakhe when he's having unprotected sex with 4 women. Uthi who will father those men? Abazaphuma from those relationships.
He also comes
that
from
is
the
something home. Yeah, that, but you can't just be irresponsible and tell yourself ukuthi bazabona mama lava how they are raising, and then kusasa when sungukhulu susithi you know ama youth lawa njani kanti when you didn't play your role as a father to the 4 women that you had children with. If you have 4 children with different mothers, father them all. Take responsibility. Yes, you are father to all of them. I do not buy that. Mina, if I'm a woman and I have 4 children with 4 different men, I will mother all 4 of them. Ngizabamunyi sabang 4. If I have quadruplets, ngizabamunyi sabang 4. Bebuye bang 4 ka 1. So you can't be a man and have 4 children with 4 different women and say ngibaba kwibonjani ka 1. Think about it before you open your zip. That is my point. But as for those abalahlekelwa ngubaba, it's understandable. That is life. It happens. And the unkulunkulu, well, unfortunately or fortunately, abanye they don't believe in the Bible. But I believe ukuthi unkulunkulu kakunika umthwalo ongasoze ukwanisa. So as umama, unfortunately, nxa ufele ngubaba, uyawumela umthwalo wakho, unkulunkulu will cover you. Lawe nxa ungubaba, usuphiwa abantwana abangu4. Uzawumela umthwalo wakho, unkulunkulu uzakwenza ukuthi umele umthwalo wakho. If you are a man out there and you are listening and you have children that you have fathered that you are not looking after, my brother, pull up your socks. No one is going to fix that problem for you. Uthe ukholisa ubuyi1. Face your responsibility.
Amen.
Exactly. Bemfuna ukuthi kuphela people should learn to take responsibility for their actions. If you decide to be a parent, if you decide to have unprotected sex, there's a chance of falling pregnant. Be prepared. Emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, and everything, Kali, to be a parent. No, be involved in your child's upbringing.
Ngiyakwazi ukuthi guys liyakhuluma ngiyalizwa, and it's not that I'm in disagreement with you, and inkuthazo leyo esiyenzayo especially to the males, but how possible and how real is what you are saying? Sikhuluma ngezinto that are on the ground. Usemfane nalo usemithi say whatever. Kalala la sent.
Mama omithisweni ulayo innocent.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
I am getting it.
No,
you are saying
why you are not getting it is we are talking about abantwana abaphuma from there. Remember where we started from. Remember where we're coming from. So there is this one guy with multiple kids, and let's just say for argument's sake, these multiple kids happened to be boys. We as we see the reality on the ground ngubaba wabo lo ozala abantwana abaningi khathesi besingakakhulumi ngabomama. No, this is the point that I'm trying to make. Ukuthi so what then happens ukuthi abafana bona laba, they will not have a male figure in their lives to look up to.
Exactly. And I'm saying if you are doing it ungubaba and you are leaving those kids without a father figure, it's not right. Uzitshela ukuthi awula sent. Umama yena lo la umama wena laba bongu4 abamithisileyo laba balayo isent uthi babagcine njani abantwana bakho.
Yeah. Do you know, I don't know, I could be wrong and I stand to be corrected. I feel like we always give men an option to run.
Yes. Thank you. An opening, okay,
it's okay.
Excuse.
I feel like we always do
Who is
that.
the woman getting
And
imali from?
mina sengibone, I don't know, be like on Twitter, you see how single mothers, like ngendlela ababatreata ngabantu on Twitter, you're like, oh my goodness, this is what you guys think
Of single mothers.
of single mothers.
I've seen the
You are
vile
angry.
comments.
Yeah, you are
Sure.
angry at these women for raising boys and men, and you're making these women feel like they did the worst, you know, but you're not holding the men that left these children, you know, you're not holding them to account, you know, you're just saying, but hey, women, you know, I don't know why society always wants to burden women with such. And what I've noticed as well when it comes to raising boys and doing initiatives to better boys, unkathesa unqanga ungambe ekhangelo amakhosikazi girls table wild obani all these women's institutions, awuswela ama-comments amadoda, what about boys, why are you leaving boys behind?
But they're doing nothing.
But you are a man. You always say good, hey, children need
women?
Boys need fathers, but you're failing to start initiatives to teach boys, to teach men, auntie. And then people also don't understand that some of these organizations that are pushing women issues there are men behind them.
Yeah.
You're like, but guys, do you really understand that you want women to carry the burden in society, to raise boys, to raise men, to raise girls, to raise women, but at the same time you're complaining that women cannot raise boys. But Lina, you're not stepping up. But guys, I need you guys to look for this man. He's American and his name is Jason Wilson.
I've been following the bold guy.
Oh, this man is amazing. Please, if you want to learn about raising boys, the manhood, and in a healthy way, as Kuluming a toxic masculinity, we're talking about men who are healthy, wholesome. This man, guy, I'm a woman and I follow his content and I learn so much about myself and dealing with life, dealing with fear. He's brilliant. You can find him on Facebook, you can find him on Twitter, you can find him on YouTube. Please watch. Like, you'll be amazed. Like, he makes fathers really get in touch with their feelings and how to raise boys and I don't know what to say. And I wish someone can do the same program. Better Men Foundation is a challenge. Do a similar program for boys in Zimbabwe, because he's amazing.
I
love him.
About people about what about the boys in Bala? A post lap on Instagram. Someone wrote a friendly reminder to be extra kind and gentle to new mothers today and beyond. They are fighting battles none of us fully understand. And then the first comment is, what about the fathers? How? But if you want people to be sorry about post or to be kinder to fathers, you know what? I mean, I understand that men go through the most and they are suffering with things that we don't understand and they need to be thought about. But I'm saying, while we are thinking about you, also take responsibility for your actions. In as much as Labo Mama, yes, let's take responsibility for our actions. We are human beings and we are individual. We are responsible for our actions. We can't globally say all men, all women, what. But when as ubaba uhambu mitisa o mama uzitshela ukuthi ngizalwela kuza kuthiwa khona hayi vele, you know, fathers are having a hard time, bayafa, they are committing suicide, akula msebenzi, bale stress financial. No, when individuals is stressed, you know, labo mama bona labo bamithisile, they can't make ends meet. So xa ubamithisa usithi mina ngilamali uthi bazagcinwa ngubani abantwana bona labo. So yeah, I would love to hear utabalaleli bacabangana about these issues, especially obaba labafana. 07744601000 khathesi ngu-25 to 1. What are your New Year's resolutions, Mankazana? I mean, there are a lot of things that we need to change about the way we think, the way we do things. Fine, Zimbabwe is not so good, but my New Year's resolution is to think positive and to take action, not to always be blaming uhulumende, be blaming city council, be blaming so and so. It's time for me to look at myself. I'm an able-bodied adult, educated, and 5 senses and everything in order. What am I doing to turn my situation around? As well as the space colors can be mean by it. What is the New Year's resolutions? Do they even work, these New Year's resolutions, ladies?
I don't do my resolutions.
What do you do?
I have a vision for 2022.
Okay.
Yes. So.
And how do you hold yourself accountable?
Because I set my timelines. Let's say I want to achieve ABC by this time. So I have an accountability partner. And whatever I'm doing, I'm working towards achieving that.
Okay.
So we meet like occasionally and talk about what have you done towards achieving your vision, any challenges, any milestones, whatever. Do you need to change your strategy and what? So we are accountable to each other.
Has it worked?
It works.
So your 2021, really, you met your goals?
Not all of them, but most of them, yes.
All right. And what do you do about those that you haven't met?
I sit down and look at them. Why did these ones not succeed? Do I need to change? Because they are, I still need to achieve the
So you cross them
goals.
over to the next year?
Yes. But saying it, ginger maybe strategy, how I'm approaching them. And one of the things, do I need to share exactly? I'm specific.
If it will
gonna
help
help
us
someone,
and listeners, please do share, because these are life-changing pointers that were getting.
Okay, like the other day we were talking about indaba yemota ukuthi I left imota eNamibia. So now looking at the Zimbabwean economy, do I really need a car ngapha? I might, but angila energy ukutshona ngidinga nale fuel ukuthi ayisishota wathini ama potholes, they give me nightmares. Lapha engihlala khona is right by the main road kule transport, so and I have a cab driver who drives me nxa ukule need. So looking at the situation ngapha le Namibia is different. So I would rather not have motor and divert my funds law to achieving the other goal that I wanted to achieve last year anyway. So that's part of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But some get you do resolutions. Mina ngihlala ngiresolve ukuluze weight. Fast. So it's a good way to train my body. But ngihlala 10. Ngabe sengiyithuni.
I didn't expect that. Lingena ngeveve ngoJanuary. You're hungry and you know, which is good, you know, but what I've seen from abantu ngabeqala 1 January, you know, they're starting the new year, you are on a high. You are feeding from other people's high as well. You think it's possible, and it is possible, but you don't set goals based on
achievable goals.
Yeah, you know, so for no to vele unhluluze 40 kgs in January. Come on, you know. So I think people need to learn that. But Mina, I'm also not resolution, whatever. Maybe we're running away from the word resolution because they don't work. But now I do, I call them declarations, where I say this is a year of fruitfulness. This is a year of what. That's what I do every year. And then I write goals. I have mentors, and I have one particular mentor where during the year I do like 2 weeks goals, where I say I want to do this, like whether it's finance, emotional, whatever, and I give him this is what I want to do for the next 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, that's what I was doing, like sending to him. And then if Emma to sending a pillar, I go back to those goals and I what I did. Like I did this, and I did this. Like, and then I love my mentor because he's one person, Hubuza. So why didn't you do this? What's your plan? So for me, like I think because I'm such an achiever. So I besides having an accountability partner, I know to push myself. I know how I don't need to be followed after, because I'm that person. When I say I want to do this, I make sure that I do it. The only thing this year that I felt to do was ukuthenga imbuzi. I wanted to thenga imbuzi this year, but I failed to do. And from December, but I did not manage. So my plan is to make sure that it happens at least in about February. I'm holding myself, like I'm going to push myself. But I really went over and above, because I'm like that. I'm such a
Ngendlela ngi-inspire
Ngiyazidriver kakhulu mina.
But
So
I'm wondering, Lina, about accountability partners. Both of you are single and childless at the moment. Thina bakithi esilama kiddies esibagijimisayo lemisebenzi and marriage and stuff. I feel like sometimes even ngafaka plan, life gets in the way. Like a plan for my children and their school and the roles I have to play as a mother, the roles I have to play in other areas of my life, they overtake me. It's so hard for me to put a plan and stick with it, to be honest.
actually, you know what? My mentor has been saying we all need a life coach, because at least with your life coach, they can help you to put that together, because you play different roles. Unlike some of us, but he was saying, a life coach can help you with all the roles that
Juggle all those things.
Yeah, and also there's this woman that I follow on Twitter. Her name is Kudzi. I love Kudzi. I don't know if you follow her. Finlit Bay. Do you know she has this mantra, every day is a day for you to start afresh. When she said that last year, I was like, you know what, I'm going to steal this. So even if I failed today to run, I know tomorrow is a new day for me to try. So like she says, she's always saying, guys, you can actually, like, you need to learn to forgive yourself. Okay, I'm not able to, I was not able to do this today, but tomorrow is a new day and I will try today. She was like, Lina, always I'm frustrated because you want to do so well. You're so hard on yourself. So it will never work. That's why if abantu 1 January bazagijima 20 kilometers and then February I said don't. I said let me just leave it. December. So Kuti has taught me, guys, show yourself compassion, show yourself love, try every day. Every day is a new day for you to start. So maybe something that you can think of, Uta, you know what, but a life coach, I think you should also need to talk to a life coach just to see how can they help you to put all your roles together and how you can, because there's a book that I read called Your Best Year Yet. I think you should look for it.
Okay.
I think if I find it at home, I'll give you. So this book, it also taught me when you're doing your goals, make sure your goals speak to the roles that you play in your life. Your goals should speak to you being a mother, being a businesswoman, being an entrepreneur, so that your 10 goals, and they're always saying to limit your yearly goals to 10 so that you know what you are able to, but make sure that it fits to all your roles in life. If you're an activist, make sure you have a goal that speaks to that. So that I feel like I'm neglecting one part, I'm neglecting my role as a mom, or I'm neglecting this. I'll look for that book if it's,
please do,
because it changed my life actually.
But the one thing is funny, in 2020, COVID being the biggest factor, things did happen despite COVID.
Yeah, they did.
And we should be thankful. Like you're saying, we should be kind to ourselves. We tend to forget we didn't achieve things, yes, but there's a reason why we didn't achieve those things. There are things we were going through. Actually, I can't my 2021 because I really want to see 2022 as a new year and start afresh, like you're saying. Every day is a new day. I want 2022 to be a new year completely, with new things to look forward to and new things to do. And I hope we'll see, like you're saying, get a life coach. I don't know how possible that is at this stage, but it's something that is worth considering.
You're sitting with one here. What are you talking about? You can get me,
Madam Barbara. Thank you. You are hired. At 25 minutes to 1, what are your goals for the new year, Balaleli? 0774460100. So, do you have any new goals, any resolutions?
You know what? This year, I've told myself, ukuthi ngizayenza okumele ngikwenze ngesikhathi okumele ngikwenze ngaso. I know you laugh, but you know what? I've like what Tusamge was saying, I was looking back and realizing ukuthi we get into the new year with this hype. So this time, no, I'm really chilled about it. Yeah, hype, yeah, whatever. And then things don't turn out the way you planned them. There are some kantukulebezo. It's not, things that happen beyond your control. There's a name for it. What
fate.
Do we call it? Not fate. You can make plans. You can put goals. No, it's not destiny. You can make plans, you can do whatever, but there are some things like the weather. Fanana le weather. uyakwanisa ukuthi uyenze iplan uyabungakwazi ukuthi izulu liza kuni kumbe ukuthi kuzaba le earthquake. And once there is an earthquake, everybody's life is torn apart. So as a result, everything that you had planned, even COVID, and things like that. So my resolution, not just for the new year, it will be a season resolution. In this season of my life, I'm just making a deliberate choice to be more disciplined, to be more self-aware, to be more especially discipline, because discipline, self-aware, and to put myself, to give myself my all into everything that I'm doing. That's the route that I'm taking. Not to which I will do this, because I'm seeing at the end of the year, all those things that you were saying, the hype, whatever, it's gone, and everything else that is beyond your control is what has happened.
I mean, I'm just close saying anyway, and saying that gain weight, no comes. And don't please don't comment on my weight.
I think
eat them.
I think that was their weight. I think we do them out of pressure and what society says. Because I don't know if you guys follow Oprah. Oprah always when you follow Jesakala, and she was like, this is not. I'm not trying to be extremely skinny. I just want to be healthy. I think everything that our goals should come from a place of love. Nothing should come out of hey, pressure, I want to be skinny, size 6. No, let everything be done out of love, But no, actually I'm shocked that when I saw Zoplane, I remember I thought but as a Christian, the Bible says write down your vision and blah blah blah. So, but I get what you're saying. We plan things like what Busi was saying. This year and last year, really, all of us were forced to a standstill. But this shows in life we can never predict. We can never know but it doesn't mean we will not have a vision. We need to have a vision, an idea of where we want to go and what we want to do. And one of my mentors once said to me, you need to figure out exactly the platforms where you want to play it. Do you want to be a regional girl? Do you want to be a local Bulawayo person? Do you want to be a national person? And when he said that, it really changed my life, because I used to call myself a Bulawayo girl a lot. And then I realized, if I want my voice to be recognized nationally, then I'm limiting myself. So I think it's good to have an idea of where you want to go, but also understanding that with life, anything can happen. And when I allow it as a person, you need to learn when these things happen, how am I going to handle it? Because in life, so how are you going to handle my disappointments or my curves, that you would not have planned? But guys, please plan, and we talk about smart goals, they have to be specific, they have to be measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So I'm a person who believes in people writing down their goals and also knowing what anything can happen, but when they do happen, how are you going to handle? So many things happen, where you think was a good motor because there are certain things that I've also experienced.
Be ready to adjust to life.
And ready to adjust to life, but continue pushing, continue moving, because the sky is the limit. There are so many opportunities that are waiting for us to tackle. And I'm excited for 2022. I don't know what God has in store for us, but I feel like we still have a clean slate for us to write things that we want, whether as Women's Newsbeat, we need to be doing bigger and better things, because the world is waiting for us. But one thing that I've always said to myself, I'd rather fail knowing that I did my best than I don't even know what tomorrow holds for me, but let me fail knowing that I did everything.
I think the message we can leave with abalaleli for 2022 sivala uhlelo lwe-Women's Newsbeat amakhosikazi this year is zama wonke ongakuzama with that idea that you have. Don't let that dream die without you trying it. Because kulomnye bakuthiwa uhambe cemetery wafika wathi all lies here thousands and thousands of unlived dreams and written books because you thought of an idea that you never executed and you die with it. But imagine if you had tried it and it worked out in your favor. For me, death and loss this year taught me which anything can happen, but you still have to move on. Ngoba uyabe usufele wena, but when you're still breathing, and you have to live through the pain, and you have to pick up the pieces. So it means ukuthi kungaze kwehlule ungaze uxoxa umsebenzi, you are still alive, awufanga. Vuka and move on. Don't start blaming. Don't have a pity party. Ngothanda ukutsho njalo Samke. Don't have a pity party yokuzizwela ukuthi sendilahlekelwe. Ayisuwe wedwa. You know, everyone is going through something, and no one is going to stop and focus on you ukuthi bakuzwele and with what you're going through. Get out of that shell. Face life and try those dreams, try those plans, try those ideas. When they fail, at least you have tried. Go on to the next ones, because to each of us, God has given a talent. And if you do not work on it, to spread it and to grow it, uzazisola usulele ethuneni ukuthi I should have tried this.
Thank you, Samgelo Lobusi. What I want to say is, Gusmo, I understand where you're coming from. It's okay to take time to be in whatever season you're going through and acknowledge what you're feeling. It doesn't necessarily mean ukuthi you'll be in this state the whole year, but you need to acknowledge how you're feeling. And yes, unlike what Vose just said, there is someone who's always willing to listen.
Amen.
Yes. Either you're talking to God or you're talking to your therapist, or there's someone who is dedicating time to listening to you. So it's okay to be where you are, but don't stay there. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. And then when you have come out of that funk that you're going through, you will be energized to start making visions or goals or whatever. But it's okay to be where you are.
Thank you. Thank you for confirming.
Yes.
Thank you for confirming.
We need to be kind to ourselves.
Message. Thank you so much, Barbara. That is so true. That is so true. There is always someone willing to listen, and we should be willing to open our ears and, you know, give those people an opportunity to listen to us. So i-comment later, please, bo mama lami ngifuna ukuluza weight linganginceda ukuthi ngezeni asikwazi ukuthi wezeni athi lathi siyakhala ukuthi la this year i-resolution ingaba yi-weight loss bakithi. But I think the important thing is not weight loss, but to be healthy. I mean, eat food that is healthy. I would encourage you, start a garden. It's very therapeutic. Some did it. I'm also trying to do it with a lot of ups and downs. But eating from your own garden, drinking lots of water, exercising. You don't need to be vigorous. Gym. Just taking a 30-minute walk, 20-minute walk a day is healthy. You'll see a difference. Eat more greens than refined foods. They're not really good for us. Try and cut down on those. Try and cut down on the sugars. You'll see a whole lot of difference. Just be healthy is what I would call for, not necessarily weight loss. That's what I've resorted to. Noma ngiyisidudla, as long as ngi-healthy, ikoqathekile ngoba sembona abantu betshaya i-heart attack becakile. So I was asking myself, umuntu ocakileyo layo kanti uyaba le-cholesterol Anyway. Good afternoon, guys. In my opinion, I think women should take responsibility in regard to their reproductive health. Most women fall pregnant in order to trap men to marry them. At the end of the day, they are left as single mothers. There are so many health centers that offer free contraceptive services, and this leaves women with a choice when they engage themselves in unsafe sex. One falls pregnant and acquires STI, including HIV. I think women need more awareness on what to expect when they agree to remove their panties with responsible men, married men, etc. Women should have children by choice, not chance, by waking up and use available contraceptives, including condoms. Thank you, Mrs. Nyati in Vic for Siyabonga, Mrs. Nyati. Very true. Lati o mama sibili nxa usiya emacansini lo muntu ongubaba hawu bantu uyabucabanga ungaqhukanga i-protection ungela contraceptives nxa usuzithwele la usule responsibility 100%, not 50%. 100% to that child, as much as ubaba. Omunye umlaleli uthi 100.3 FM siyabonga ngokufundisa ukufunda kuphela. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi you are learning something. My 7-year-old boy ran away from me, the father esizinda, to the mother in Magwego on foot yesterday around 7 a.m. Ngiyenzeni. Hey baba, nxa ukwazi ukuthi kunina so kumele ukhulumisane laye umama akhe njengoba laye ngumzali wakhe, it's difficult ukuthi singathi wenzeni because mhlawumbe kukhona umntwana angakuthandiyo so kumele lihlalisane phansi libonisane. Kunzima kakhulu but vele i-co-parenting injalo, i-communication is very key. Amatshono basakazi ngodaba lwabasakazi labo baba abafele ngaphakathi kumbe ukuhlukumezana emtchadweni, akula mtchado ongela zinhlupho. Ngakho ke kuqhakathekile ukuthi abantu abathatheneyo bafundiswe ukulungisa inhlupho zabo kungela owesithathu. Ungabona sokungena owesithathu kutsho ukuthi the two have failed to handle their marriage. It is their duty to preserve their marriage ngokukhulumisana bobabili. When the marriage starts depending on the third party, so yokubamba ngamandla, we have role models abadala abangakaze bangene police station, but it doesn't mean they don't have problems. The secret is they can solve their issues bebabili. The source of all these problems is how we marry now. We get married for the wrong reasons and end up in trouble. Charlie at 14 minutes to 1. Yeah, indaba yama relationships. Imendo, that's what we've been reading throughout the year as Women's News Beat. We're hoping ukuthi as a society we are going to go beyond that and learn. Usmo ubebuza ngendaba ye child line. I'm not sure if it's necessary to bring in amapolisa le child line and these institutions at this point. I'm hoping ukuthi before we involve authorities and institutions, it's best to deal with an issue first at a family level. Kungabi le conflict escalator. Umntwana abone ukuthi hayi abazali bami bayangithanda and they can speak about issues ngami before involving into ezinjalo. But I'm sure ukuthi when it de-escalates, indeed abantu bangalokhuza bangabiza amapolisa and other authorities. Sesivala ke sikhangelele ngibale online actually la ku media outlets ukuthi amapolisa are saying ukuthi today from 9 o'clock they'll be closing ama roads. Any muntu uyabe driver uyabotshwa, and a lot of people are saying akuthi namhla silala emabhawa. And that got me thinking, Samke, you were at the homecoming, how was it? Ngizokuthola iphose lalala khona likholisile yini?
Oh my God, you know what, I was actually disappointed with when awubuyanga because you were one of the people that I thought you were going to support.
I was supposed to be there. I was supporting it hard by it.
Yeah, I understand. But a big shout out to people behind Real Homecoming. I was impressed. I was so impressed. I was proud to be a Bulawayo person because they went over and above, you know. And I wasn't sure what should I go because I went by myself. You know, but I really enjoyed, you know, Vusam Kaya, Berita Begezela, they thank you, you know. And then we had Duo, Omsiske, Lovuyo Brown, Oposenti, Lomboma Hawks. They did very well, you know. It was the Hammer performances were very classy. It was such a mature audience. Because I'm from China says he says peso this guy. I think so cool. You know, you want a mature vibe, and it was such a very mature vibe. But when you could see what there was an engagement between our performers, Lati audience, which was very good. But what impressed me most was the fact that they hosted this show without any sponsor. So for me, I'm proud of Bulawayo. We can do anything. We don't need sponsors. We don't need to be crying and begging people to sponsor us. We can pull this off. They pulled this event off. And another thing, they kept time. By get to event, knowing that the COVID regulations, when they said bavula gates 3, 4 they started the show, and 8 those people were done.
Wow.
I was impressed because abantu sometimes they really don't care about us. Time. You know, they don't care about the timekeeping. And no, police who do you call? Because when I'm event organizers, but these people were very considerate of, you know, of us as their audience, and also, you know, adhering to AMA regulations. But overall, guys, you know what? I'm really proud of the team behind the Real Homecoming, and I'm happy that they say this is going to be an annual event. Yay. And I hope that we'll see new artists from Bulawayo as well, you know, opening acts and stuff. But they did super well. I've never been so proud. I even shared on my Twitter account to say, well done, Bulawayo. I think this is big for us. I know they were not happy with, hey, you guys, how can you do an event after Ega Big Zulu? But I wish Bulawayo people could understand Uguti. It's okay for the city to have as many events.
Zulu, what was the issue?
But why did they have this one after Ega Big Zulu? Because of Abantuti Imali ukubhadala both events, finance. But at the same time, mina bengasoze ngihambe ka Big Zulu. I love you, Big Zulu, but you see, Abantu Sichiene, we like different music, we love different genres, auntie. So I think it's okay for Bulawayo to have as many events, so that anyone can choose.
For every
you choose where you want to go. But as someone who went to the Real Homecoming, I'm very proud, and I get to continue doing the work and showing artists in Bulawayo that they can hold my events. We'll see when you know that we're always crying on Twitter saying Harare is Harare events, they exclude they call
Bulawayo,
them national, but they exclude Bulawayo artists. But for these guys to host this, and it was something that was very incredible. Can we continue? Can we see more events? Not just the Real Homecoming, but other people as well hosting these shows. Bulawayo will support, and I want people to understand that we support who we want to support. So allowing all the artists that you want to support, please go when they are hosting events, because Bulawayo is very talented, you know. I'm proud of Bulawayo. Keep it up.
I mean, I love those shows. Some kind of shows are always decent shows. You won't get a crowd, they're rowdy, and also there's interactive. So I knew which corner it was going to be like that. I'm so sad that I made that show because I had commitments to clients. So, you know, sometimes uyabongafuna ukuthi udanise omunye umuntu to please yourself. So I had to meet those commitments. But since you say it's an annual show, I'm happy with next year I'll be able to attend that one. Kule message siyabonga kakhulu sisters owakamthakazi mina uNox umuntu man Masuku eKempton Park. Bakithi siyabonga lisilalele eKempton Park. Monenye message from the UK. We are failing to connect today. So bakithi UK isizwe namhlanje
Sakuta maphansi.
Yes, Barbara, you want to say something?
While we are still celebrating Abantu from Bulawayo, I want to celebrate Lorraine. She released a book. It's entitled All I Want for Christmas, and it's an amazing book. It's 35 pages, so it won't take much of your time. It's about knowing yourself, celebrating each other, giving thanks, forgiving ourselves and those who hate us, and being compassionate. So it's such a refreshing book.
Sorry, Papa. Lorraine, because it just said Lorraine.
Lorraine.
Okay, thank you.
It's an ebook. It's a free ebook.
Okay.
We will be sharing the link very soon on WhatsApp. And congratulations, Lorraine. You did us proud, and
well done.
Going through all the challenges that she's been going through throughout the year, for her to take time to give thanks for the blessings that she has, because it's very easy ukuthi she focuses so much on izinto that are not going right. But we've had blessings in between the hard times. So we need to take time to give thanks and just be
so true,
grateful for what we have. Even the gift of life, ukuthi sihlezi khona apha sonke
siphila,
it's a blessing, you know. We need to give thanks for such things.
Bakithi mina namhlanje ngizawe all night prayer meeting. I'm sure sibaningi ngikhulekela ukuthi umedwe amaphendule bakithi ngoba
and you've been praying for her, bakithi. Yes, you've been praying.
I saw a shout out to anyone who works as a maid or a house help, auntie eligcina abantwana bethu lisinele izindlu. Mina ngiyalithanda kakhulu, ngiyalihlonipha umsebenzi wenza unzima, and bandilalela uyazi ukuthi kunzima. I mean, when they go on holiday every year, I have to step in and do the work that they do, and you know we do not appreciate them. And I ask myself every time, umama lo wenza njani lokho? labantwana ngapha you know, and she'll be cheerful throughout. Ubusumnika kuyi$30 unyanga nxa iphela. But let's treat our maids well, let's pay them well, let's make them family, let's make them feel at home. You know, but feel like they are workers when they're in our homes. Let's make them feel like part of the family, and let's pay them well, and let's take care of them because their health matters. Sibafake labo ku medical aid. Nxa besiya ku Christmas sibanike lathi imbijana esiyikwanisayo, because they take care of us, they take care of our homes, and it's not an easy job. Bakithi mina ngiyalihlonipha lapha elikhona. Nxa ulalelo wami bakithi ngizawubona
After all night prayer.
Bengisathi ngiyakuphendula ngendaba yama all night prayer bhanwa yini.
I think abhaniwe eventually, but
kodwa abantu bake besemabhawa. I found that very strange.
If people say they are going to be emabhawa all night, then people are going to say church all night. I won't be moving around. Ngiyabe ngikhuleke church from 9 to 6 a.m. So what happens emabhawa can equally happen in my church, but I don't know how the police are going to handle it. They might just round people up for being
I actually
at
saw a
church.
notice about no night vigils. So I found that a bit conflicting, because emabhawa I know ukuthi kulabantu abaningi who have planned.
No, they have planned, but it doesn't mean I'm supposed to watch. They might
No,
just get arrested.
okay. Right.
Yeah, they might just
And
get
I
arrested.
just wanted to
Which
say,
are no night
Barbara,
parties, eh?
yeah, something like that. What you were saying, Gucci, this year has been very difficult.
Yeah.
And you are saying, even in the midst of that difficulties, we've got to find things that we're grateful for. That touched me, because this year 2021 has been.
So what are you
something
grateful
else.
for, Sesi Repa up?
I'm grateful for so many things. Actually, I need another hour to
I
start
still
moving.
Oh, I saw the
For the
good
gift
discard.
of life,
Siyabonga.
for the gift of family.
Amen.
Yes.
Siyabonga. Barbara, what are you thankful for, Sesi Repa up? Sesivaleli sabalaleli.
I'm grateful for health. Ngoba my health can be very challenging.
Oh,
but
yes.
it's been holding its own.
Thank you.
And
Thank
Ball
God.
Dialogue has made some
It's
amazing
growing.
strides. Yes.
Congratulations and well done. I'm so proud of you,
Thank
considering
you.
how it started like a small baby and where it is now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Samge?
Oh, I mean, I really want to thank God for life, for my family and all my friends, and also the fact that I was questioning God this whole year, but I keep saying to my friends, uNkulunkulu befake rainbow in the sky to remind me that through it all,
He's
He's there. So I'm so happy, and I can't wait, just to give him the glory and the honor, because Nimbonile, he came through for me, so many doors open for me, and I'm looking forward to next year, So grateful.
2 minutes to 1. Umlaleli omunye uyabuza ukuthi kuyaphunywa namhlanje ebusuku. Ayaphunywa mlaleli. Stay at home, you're safer at home. You don't want to take the chance. Ungabotshwa kumbe ulimale. Please stay at home, be safe. Sifuna 2022 umbone. Mina, I'm thankful for the gift of life. So many things happened that I would have never imagined, both good and bad. But I focus on the good. I focus on the positive. I focus on ukuthi uNkulunkulu he showed up when he needed to, and despite the bad things he allowed to happen empilweni yami, he even gave me bigger things to happen empilweni yami ezinhle for me to remember ukuthi hayi lokho ehleze esihlalweni. And so I'm looking forward to 2022 to be even a bigger and better year. Ngiyabonga kakhulu bakithi. Wrap up the show. Thank you so much for allowing us to enter your homes every Friday between 11 and 12, and today for 2 hours. Bakithi, hey siyalawo lumlomo suzuwomile. I wish you guys a very, very good 2022, and I hope ukuthi next week sizahlangana sesikhangela umnyaka omutsha. Please be safe, take care of yourselves, take care of your families. Until next year.
Toodles. Miss Natasha.
Lani, guys.
Natasha, wherever